Right, so this is the, I seen this on X and I thought this was very interesting. All right, so this is the Catholic arena and this occurred in Rome. All right, deranged American black Hebrew Israelites stormed a basilica and threatened Catholics inside before being put in their place by a brave Catholic. The Americans then bizarrely posted the footage to social media in order to portray themselves as victims. All right, and this is why the scripture says, the simple believeth every word, and do not judge according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Because what Amalek does, what the white man does is this: they lie. Because when you watch the footage that was edited and you watch the original footage, it's completely different. But they did that to fit a specific narrative to push that they're deranged, they're violent. But that's not what happened at all. And I'm gonna show you.
Hey bro, excuse me. You know he's not white. Jesus is not white. You know that, right?
Excuse me, get out. Don't say that. You are blaspheming.
Jesus is not white, bro. Get away.
All right, now that video was the edited video on the Catholic Arenas page. Now let's check Bishop Nathaniel's page to see what transpired at the end of the video on why it was cut.
Hey bro, excuse me. You know he's not white. Jesus is not white. You know that, right?
Excuse me, get out. Don't say that. You are blaspheming.
Jesus is not white, bro. Get away.
Oh, it makes sense now why the video was edited. The brave Catholic put hands on Deacon Malachi, and that's the raw footage from Bishop Nathaniel's page. Bishop Nathaniel, Deacon Malachi, and the rest of the men of God were showing the idolatry all around the church. And Deacon Malachi let the brother know that Jesus Christ is not white. He is a black man according to the Bible. But what happens when the truth comes out? Christians get mad. So that article is a lie. Now, this is the spirit of modern day Christians. Acts chapter 7 verse 51. Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, ye do always resist.
Michael Bell opened his church doors to the Trigger Project when it asked for a space to host its violence prevention program.
It was quite literally a disruption of peace.
A significant disruption involving gunfire by several young men associated with the group. This happened while the Trigger Project was on break outside. That's when an argument started between a group of guys. At least two started shooting at each other. You can see the bullet holes on the door. That's when one of the people involved and ran down these steps. They went out this hallway, through this room, and out a door and hopped a fence to get away. There was a trail of blood left behind. Mind you, this all happened on orientation day of the program. Two men were shot, and when police arrived, detectives say they found a 16-year-old boy who was also with the Trigger Project program in possession of two guns. The Trigger Project has received numerous awards and grants since it launched nearly 10 years ago. The city tells 7 News it has ended its partnership with the Trigger Project and the Marionberry Summer Youth Employment Program. Pastor Bell thinks officials should reconsider.
I think that it's absolutely tragic. I think it's short-sighted. I think in the calculations that are made, I don't know that the future has actually been taken into account. What does it mean? What is the impact for divesting, particularly, let's just take this isolated event.
But we're talking about a lot of city money. Take a look. In December, the program was awarded $150,000 from the Office of Victim Services. Last year, it got $50,000 from the Office of the Attorney General. In 2024, the group's tax filings show income of more than $500,000. To be clear, that also includes private donations and grants. Pastor Bell isn't giving up on the group.
Would you welcome the Trigger Project back in your space?
I am grateful for that question. More than that, I'm grateful to be in partnership with a faith community whose response recognizes that if the children cannot find sanctuary anywhere, you mean to tell me we're going to kick them out of the church? Absolutely not.
A man identified as a youth pastor has been arrested in a child pornography investigation out of Pennsylvania. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says Pennsylvania State Police traced image downloads to the area of Mount Zion Baptist Church off Beverly Road. Deputies identified the suspect as 30-year-old John Tyler Moreland of Macon. Warrants were issued in Pennsylvania, and Moreland was taken into custody by U.S. Marshals in Houston County.
Good evening, I'm Paul Martino. The pastor at the Waterfront Christian Community Church in West Homestead has been charged with engaging in lewd behavior with a man inside a car on a public road. Tonight, he's denying those charges. Amy Yahawadah spoke with him in an exclusive interview. Amy, what do you have?
Well, good evening, Paul. Pastor George Gregory is accused of engaging in lewd behavior inside of his car late last night in New Homestead. Someone saw the alleged behavior, then called 911. When police arrived, they say they found two men in a car on Beachland Street. Inside, police spotted a man in the front seat completely naked and bound with nylon rope. Police say Gregory was in the back seat. When police asked Gregory what was going on, they say he told them, quote, "We were just playing." The man in the front passenger seat told police the behavior going on inside of the car was consensual. Police questioned Gregory some more. They say he stated, quote, "They meet up from time to time to play with each other." Police told Gregory he was on a public street in clear view of several homes, and police say Gregory replied by saying, quote, "I know." We went to Gregory's home, and he says the police have it all wrong.
Purpose?
Were you in the car with someone else?
I was counseling a young man with a drug problem, okay? And it did turn strange, but it wasn't my doing, okay? And I was adamant that I'm not participating in that way.
Man, he's a faithful man. He's a man of God, for one. So I just pray that, he just pulled through it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God.
The grief and shock from the shooting in church was obvious, but deputies say Fogel started at his home a block away from the church, where he shot and killed his wife. Then he walked into the middle of a prayer service and opened fire. Deputies say he targeted the pastors.
He immediately ran in and shot the pastor, checked to make sure that he was shooting the right person. It's not like he ran in and shot somebody. Everybody's kneeling. So he ran in and looked to make sure that it was the pastor and then shot him in the head.
Fogel, who is also a pastor, is expected to appear before a Polk County judge this afternoon on murder and attempted murder charges. Hopefully by then we'll learn more.
I want to give all the praises and the honor.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Hashem, YAHAWASHI, Hashem, Rakwakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to mighty Akim, Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as a speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharala. This is Brother Kawakau coming at you with no lesson. Today's lesson, this is going to be a bit on modern Christianity. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of this stuff, it's kind of funny to me because, well, number one, I love how these people just completely can't come to an intelligent, maybe not conclusion, but what's it called? Assumption or hypothesis, all right? Listen to what was said at the very end of this last one.
From the church, where he shot and killed his wife.
Oh, God.
The grief and shock from the shooting in church was obvious, but deputies say Fogel started at his home a block away from the church, where he shot and killed his wife.
So this man, he shot and killed his wife, all right? Then what did he do? He took off and went to the church, specifically looking to target two people specifically. The church, his wife, and someone at the church. Let's hear again, because apparently sometimes maybe people don't hear it properly. Let's make sure we get the facts straight.
Then he walked into the middle of a prayer service and opened fire. Deputies say he targeted the pastors.
He targeted the pastors. Apparently it's multiple pastors. So that's strange. Now, I don't know if you are aware of this, but one big thing that has been a common problem in the Christian community apparently is that these Christians, they are the Christian pastors more specifically, they are sleeping with the women in their congregation. They're sleeping with women and just using their power, using their positions to commit adultery. Like, this is the type of stuff that apparently goes on in the thing. And I'm obviously, this is not confirmed, but I think I think the evidence kind of speaks for itself. Okay, now I'm not saying definitively, but like, come on, like, what else is there? Like, are we really going to pretend like we don't know what happened? All right, like, it's very clear and very obvious that what happened was that the pastor slept with this man's wife, and the husband found out, and he was like, okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm crashing out. I'm doing this stuff. So he first started with his wife. Clearly, that was the most convenient for him, and then he went and finished the job with the damn pastor, and that's what's going on. Because apparently, it was a targeted attack. All right. Now, again, this video is not going to be only about the fucking only about this one thing, but it's definitely something to take note of and to remember. All right, let's get this. Proverbs 6 verse 34. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. You got a man that fucking has a wife. All right, he's gonna be a good man that's gonna have a wife. It's gonna be protective, especially if you, just in general, like, men that love their women, they're going to, expect loyalty, expect some, I don't know, possessiveness, or I don't know, whatever term you want to call it. But when a freaking woman is over here, when you have your woman, your wife or whatever, you expect your wife to, be exclusive to you, and then you hear and you find out that she was going behind your back, sleeping with other men or whatever, then you're going to obviously be mad. All right, so that's just a natural response of that type of stuff. All right, now, should he have killed them? No. But you have it appears that, like, they might have been married for a long time, especially the fact that they were old.
From the church was obvious, but deputies say Fogel started at his home a block away from the church, where he.
Yeah, it looks like they're old, and they've been together for a while. Potentially. I'll say potentially, not definitive. But again, like, a lot of this stuff, like, you really have to understand, like, to be married to someone for so long, if that is the case, and then to find out that your wife that you thought was loyal and doing all this shit for you has gone behind your back and betrayed you like that. Like, that's something that will make someone get mad. That's going to cause some definite wrathful decisions to be made. All right, so yeah, no, this is definitely the reality of what's going on. Like, this is not no easy, like, open and shut thing. Okay, but of course, I don't know if the people know that, nor do they care. Maybe they do know it, because normally police, they would ask you, why did you kill these people and stuff like that, and you would expect that he said, oh well, they did this and the third and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that they just didn't tell them and whatnot, or the cops didn't give that information out. Next thing is over here.
The car on beach.
You got this fucking pastor that was basically accused, or slacking. Let me correct myself. Caught, not accused, but caught doing some lewd behavior in his car, and apparently his neighbor caught him and called the police. It's just like, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of weird that it's a little weird that the police were called, because I'm thinking like, is that actually just like illegal or something like that? Like, why? And that an Edomite woman fucking called the police. Definitely an Edomite woman, or maybe just an Edomite man. They are known for not minding their own business and stuff like that. But again, I'm not even saying this to like condone his behavior, because I don't know who they were with. I don't know who they were with. I think they just left that information out.
Last night in New Homestead, someone saw the alleged behavior, then called 911. When police arrived, they say they found two men in a car on beach.
Never mind, Slovakia. It was two men. Two men. So you got this pastor that is teaching the Bible, but yet he is going against said Bible. He's going against the scriptures. What the scriptures say, the scriptures does not condone this type of behavior. And then this man is also married. Apparently, that's his wife.
Were you in the car with someone else?
I was counseling a young man with a drug problem. Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming that that's his wife, as she's behind him and stuff like that. But of course, again, like, this is the norm. This is what these people do. Apparently, all right, this is okay in Babylon. Obviously not, because it's getting reported on, but you basically see what is going on, where you have these people that go behind closed doors, and and that's actually that's crazy how there's this is basically universal, all right. And this is the fact of the matter, is because we see that with Sakari and Deacon Akal, Deacon Genesis, or whatever his name is, where they had all these skeletons in their closets as well, where they were doing stuff that they knew they weren't supposed to be doing. It was again behind closed doors, and apparently look at the end result of what was happening, where you have this whole divide, this whole whatever and stuff like that. Like, it's just like people or men abusing their power, which actually, let's get that as well. Hold on. Matthew 23, verse 9, and call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Basically, the thing here is just like, you have people that put too much expectations and, I don't know what the word is, authority, or they give too much authority to men on earth, thinking like, oh, this man is my father, this man is my this and third. They call these pastors and stuff like that father whatever, are giving them so much power and authority over their lives, just for these men to abuse that trust. All right, and look at the results of it. Again, and again, it's not even just for Christianity, but it's also apparently in Israelites with how you have Deacon Hakaz's one of Deacon Hakaz's former wives, or wife, I don't know, whatever, who was basically talking about how you have to do this and do that, and counseling people, while she was complaining about how her marriage was just so, hard and difficult and all that stuff. So that was basically a very big issue, very big deal. But again, it's all because people just put too much trust in giving too much power onto these men. All right, and not even just men, but men that are in authority. All right, men that are in power. Now, yes, there are men that's supposed to be above you, but it's not a matter of like saying, this man is like the next Yahawashi and stuff like that. No, Yahawashi is the only Yahawashi. All right. And that's not saying that you can't get counsel from someone, but it's not. It's not a matter of. It's a matter of really making sure that you get your relationship right with Yahawashi, is so that you don't allow yourself to require someone else to tell you what to do and how to live. All right. So anyway, continuing on. For 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 3, giving no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed. And the crazy thing to me is how these types of stories will continue to happen. And it's just like, no matter what, I mean, yes, technically, Christianity has been taking a hit, and Christianity is just not, it's not known, it's not viewed positively, all right? But ultimately, the thing about Christianity is how, or not even Christianity, but everything in general, is that we're supposed to kind of like, what's the word? View or be the proper, be a good example so that people can see that, okay, these people are good. These people, they practice what they preach. They set an example. They are following, they're followers of what the actual scriptures, of what the scriptures actually say, rather than just not following through with what it's supposed to be. All right. But again, like, that's the thing. We are supposed to be setting an example. All right. Setting an example of, follow through with this, do this. If the scriptures say not to do this, then then you shouldn't be doing this in front of people or behind closed doors. All right. Which that's what's going on here, where you have people that's going behind closed doors and just going against all that stuff. All right. And here, where they lied. They're lying to make the Christian things, or to make us look bad. All right. Job 13 verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. So how is it that, Slaki, how is it that you're going to tell people, you're going to post a video saying, these Israelites were attacking, they're doing this, that, and a third, but then when the full video comes out, it shows that Christian attacking first. They initiated the physical contact first, but then these black Hebrew Israelites, X, Y, and Z, blah blah. You're gonna make all these lies up just to defend, thinking that, and it's ridiculous to me how they just have no issues lying. Okay, let me get that as a matter of fact, because clearly they don't read their Bible. Matthew 19 verse 18. This is in the New Testament. He said unto him, which Yahushua said, thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness. So how are you bearing false witness, trying to say that the Israelites started it, the Israelites did this, Israelites did that, but you're lying. You're actively lying to keep what was done, and to justify what the Christian did when they were in the wrong. Isaiah chapter 5 verse 23, which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. If someone just talking to you, what's the issue? All right, you can say, hey, I clearly don't want to hear that type of stuff, but he literally went out of his way to attack him. All right. Next, Isaiah 32, verse 5, the vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. And that's the thing where you have these people that are called liberal, all right, these Christians, but in reality, they're vile. They're evil. They're the wicked. And we see this in their behavior, all right? So, yeah, that was basically the main thing. The conclusion is that Christianity is just evil, and it's the complete opposite of what the scriptures teach. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashai, Ba'ashem, Rakwak, Widash, honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, Abad, Bon, Shalom.